Skippy Mega Battles! Today's episode, the Care Bears versus the 7 Dwarfs. Let's get it on!
Okay! One more time! There's this land, and in this land, everybody cares a whole bunch. Everything's light and fluffy. Everybody eat marshmallows for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everybody walk around clouds and sliding on rainbows, and everything's all cool and fine and fun. And there's all these colorful bears. All these bears running around there. Pink, green, purple, gray, blue, cashmere, polka dot, plaid, orangutan looking. And there was one bear, one beautiful bear, one big beautiful bear. His name was the Almighty Huggy Wuggy. So, all the cat bears are playing in the big old heart-shaped lake. They're dancing and swimming and playing and singing songs. And big old rainbow pink bear, he looked up a big green candy cane bear, and he's like, hey, candy cane bear. Hey, candy bear be like, what? He'd be like, well, you know what? You be looking up over that hill. You'll see all these small little midgets with pickaxes coming down the way. They don't look very happy. In fact, they look pretty upset. So they like, all of a sudden, green candy cane bear turn around, he'd be like, oh, snap. Next thing you know, all these little people come walking in. 7 of them to be exact. One of them's called Slopey, one of them called Mopey, one of them called Jalopy, one of them called Fropey, one of them called Gopey, one of them called Lopey, and one of them called Stanley. They looked mean. They had beards, and one of them had big old Dumbo ears, and they had pickaxes. So, green candy cane bear turn up, look at the hill, and he like, hey, everybody gather around, all you Care Bears. Now the Care Bears be like, hey, what's this all about? Another one be like, hey, what's this all about? Another one be like, hey, what is this when all about? Next one be like, people didn't ask him to come to parties very often, but he showed up anyway. So, next thing you know, all these bears be like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we going to do? I don't know. Why don't we ask the big cloud of knowledge? So, they asked the big old cloud of knowledge to come floating down, and they yell, hey, you, big cloud of knowledge. And the cloud of knowledge went like this. And then they were like, hey, why don't you speak or say something? The cloud of knowledge said this. So they're like, you know what, Cloud? You're worthless. Why don't you go reign somewhere? So the Cloud said, hey, why don't you guys just like stare at them real hard and like make your bellies like pop big signs of like rainbows and things like that on them. The little dwarf guys, they'll be just running for home. They'll run for home. All the cameras were like, alright, cool, that's a great idea, Mr. Cloud Man. Thank you very much for your help. And the Cloud was like, hey, no problem, you know? Anytime you guys need some help, just call on old Cloudy over here and I'll come sewing up and I'll just tell you how it is. I'll tell you how it is. I'll tell you what, if you start losing real bad, I'll make it rain on. Yes, yeah. You guys have fun down there in Carolot, yeah. You guys have fun down there. Oop, oop, the wind's coming, I gotta go, ah. Next thing you know, they could hear the marching of their feet coming up over the hills. Don't good. And they could hear the 7 dwarves marching and singing their song. So, Care Bears did not know what to make out of that song. All they know is they sounded real mean. And they could still see them with their pickaxes, and they were like, oh, shucks. So, Care Bears got ready. They stand in a big old line, shoulder to shoulder, side by side, and they start talking back and forth to each other. Hey, you pink one over there. Pink one be like, what do you want, blue guy? What do you want, blue guy? Are you scared? Are you scared? Yeah, I'm pretty scared. So, all the bears are shoulder to shoulder. Be like, all right, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Stare. All you gotta do is just stare. Yeah, come on. You remember what the Cloud said? Stare. Just squeeze and stare. So, the Care Bears shoulder to shoulder. They're scared to death, but they're gonna fight. They're gonna be mean. They're gonna stare. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna stare. So, pink one's ready. I'm ready to stare. Blue one's ready. I'm ready to stare. Green one's ready. I'm ready to stare. Purple one's ready. You know I'm ready to stare. So, everyone's ready to stare. They're fuzzy shoulder to fuzzy shoulder. Up over the hills, they could see the silhouettes of 7 angry mini dwarfs. And the dwarfs came marching down the hill, and they were talking back and forth, getting their game plan together. And one dwarf said to the other dwarf, hey, and the other guy's like, and the next dwarf said, hey, why aren't we speaking English? And they shot him in the face. The Care Bears are getting scared. They're staring. Stare. Stare. Me. Stare. The dwarves come running down the hill, and they're angry. They throw their axes at them, but they miss. The Care Bears look back, and they go, oh, look, they dropped their axes. And the Care Bears are going, yay, they're giving up. Oh, let's play with the rainbow. Next thing you know, the dwarves pull out machine guns and shoot the Care Bears in the face. Every single one of them gets shot in the face, and they all die. Stuffing everywhere. And naturally, the dwarves go home to Snow White, because she's hot. Stupid!